Welcome back to the channel. This video is all about commuting, especially in winter. So we're going to have a look at some clothing, try some out. We're going to talk about riding in winter and what it feels like for me. We're also going to talk about security and everything else that's to do with commuting. So if you don't do it, hopefully you're going to learn something. If you do, then maybe you can chip in and help everybody else, including me, because we're all still learning, aren't we? So let's first of all go across to Via Moto and talk about the suit that I'm wearing in this video. I've just been talking to Stephen inside, and I was talking basically about how expensive motorbikeing can be. And he rightly points out it doesn't have to be that expensive. Now, this type of weather for commuting in can be a bit grim, but I actually like it. I feel right at home in this weather. I think it's probably because I started riding when it was like this. And we're talking about what gear I'd got. This is, well, you don't have to go that expensive if you don't want. There's some really good, more budget type gear. So I said, what like? He said, well, try these. So he's given me an outfit to try for commuting for a week. I'm going to see how I get on with it. It's an Armour Commuting. So Armour, A-R-M-R. I think it's made by Oxford, but it's a budget range. Now then, he's given me this jacket. It's given me these trousers. The boots are mine, but also he's given me some gloves. Now these are all waterproof, and they should do the job. Now, if you watch the channel, I've got some Oxford Stormland gear, which I swear by. It's so good, never wet, never cold. So I'm interested to see how this gear stands up to the Oxford Stormland, because this entire outfit, the jacket, the trousers and the gloves, cost less than just my Stormland jacket. Is there really that much difference? This entire outfit retails at £350. So if you're commuting, if you're on a budget, you've got some safety clothing, and also you've got hopefully it's going to keep me dry, but we'll find out. You get an honest review. I'm under absolutely no contract or anything else that says I've got to say anything. It's just honest review, and that's what I like about Via Moto, that they allow me to just try stuff and whatever I think, and that's it. They don't get upset even when I'm dead honest about stuff. Anyway, let's have a look and see what they've got. Now that would be fun, and that would be fun. What is that? R1200 RS. And then these keep cropping up in my search. V-Strom. And then this is being recommended quite a bit. And then the Via Moto are official Yamaha dealers. So this is MT-07 that we've got. I haven't tried that yet. I was talking to somebody earlier. They said that they love theirs. Tenere. This is interesting. Look at that front wheel. Tracer 7, which I've not tried. This one, we've got history, because we went to North Yorkshire on that very bike. Fantastic bike. We're probably going to get some horrible weather so that we can test this gear out. So we'll see how we get on. We're going to use it daytime, nighttime. For 350 quid, can you actually get a decent setup? So a lot of people don't ride through winter, and I can see why, because everything gets dirty. There's salt on the road, so you have to keep cleaning your bike. Your clothing gets dirty, you get wet through, and winter riding probably don't offer that same buzz. And for the hassle to keep up with your bike during winter, I can see why they go away. But for me, I enjoy it. Right then, so let's talk about this gear. So first impressions, this suit, it feels pretty similar to what I'm used to in Stormland. The fit feels pretty much the same. I don't feel any colder, and it seems to be holding up to this bit of rain that we've had. So I think they are built a little bit different. So this jacket, this Armour Commuting, it's got dry guard, waterproof construction. This Armour brand, it is Oxford, but it's a budget brand of Oxford. And I know that when I speak to older riders, they say that Oxford stuff were always budget, but I think Oxford's trying to make their actual brand a bit more premium, and that's why they brought this Armour range out to separate it. Maybe not premium, but mid-level. So this jacket, it's AA rated, and there's level 1 shoulder and elbow protectors. I've got a back protector in, but that's from my Stormland jacket, and you can zip this jacket to the trousers, which I like, because I'm one of those unfortunate people that tends to have a builder's bum whatever I'm doing. So I've got that zipped up, and that's a good thing, so I don't have braces. The braces that I have on the Stormland that keep my trousers up. This entire outfit on first glance does not feel any different to the Stormland stuff. I'm warm. It's not the warmest day. I feel warm and I feel dry, and it just feels familiar. But as I say, it's a lot cheaper. You can't even buy the Stormland jacket for the price of this full setup. And if you're commuting, biking might not be your passion. It just might be a way to get around traffic, or it might be just a way to get to work cheaply. Well, I say it cheaply. I think biking's the most expensive hobby I've ever had. You can't call it a cheap hobby anymore, unfortunately. You need to think about what you're using your gear for, because if you're going to use it for certain things, it might be worth paying the extra price. But if you've got a short commute, then even if it's banging it down, you can get in the office or wherever you're going, hang your stuff up, and you're not going to be wet through. Whereas if you're out touring all day, then obviously you're at risk of hypothermia or any other stuff, so it's worth spending the extra money. But do you really need to spend that amount if you're just doing a short commute? Can you get away with 350 quid? Or even less, because Armour do even cheaper stuff. And I hope to get my hands on some of that actually, just to see what it's like. So in this rain test, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. At this point in time, it seems to be fine. So now it's night time and it's cooler. Is it still working? Yeah, I'm warm, I'm not cold, there's no sun on me. I've only got a t-shirt on, but it's still doing its job. I think we're about 5 or 6 degrees. This thermal liner seems to work in this Armour stuff, so that works. And now we're in sunshine. It looks warm, but it's not. It's about 4 degrees because it's morning. But this morning it is windy, but the wind protection on this gear I think is as good as the Stormland stuff. So I think really you can't tell what you're paying your extra money for in these standard conditions. I think it's only when it gets absolutely Baltic or biblical in rain that you'd get to see the difference. So then coming on to riding, if you've never ridden through winter and you're new to this, don't be scared of it. It's fine. A lot of the time it's just like riding normally, but you just got to tone everything down a little bit. Now when I first started, I thought that it was going to be like an ice rink and I was going to go flying all over the place, but tyres and tyre technology apparently now is way better than it's ever been. Well, it will be, won't it? But the amount of grip is way more than what I ever thought that I had. Plus, I'm on this Versys 650. I mean, it's got some power, but it's not the most powerful bike. So if you're on a bike that's putting a lot more power to the back wheel, then you've got to be even more careful. But usually on modern bikes, they've got rider aids that can help you anyway. So on my commute through winter, biggest hazards that I find is standing water, spray from traffic, visor misting up, but that can be helped with a pin lock. But still, if you've got that drizzly rain, it can be quite hard to see. And then if you've got night time as well, you get that glitter ball effect, so you've got to watch out for that. It also shows you where the diesel is. And on one of the shorts that I did, I said that I was taught to ride on the gravel bits and not the shiny bits of the road when it's wet. A lot of the time you'll get away with it because modern vehicles, they don't drip diesel or oil like they used to do. However, that doesn't mean that that's always the case. So you'll find that sometimes when you're riding in these conditions, you do have to miss some diesel that's down in the middle of the road, as you can see here. Now, the other thing that we have to think about is security. So we're going to go over to the car park and I'll talk about some of the security that I use. If you don't know, I had a bike stolen. It's on the channel, tells you all about it. The Super Meteor 650 Royal Enfield. And I was gutted. And statistically, now I am more likely to have another bike stolen. Now, that could be true, or it could just be a way of putting my premiums up so that I have to pay back whatever I got paid out. However, one thing that it has made me is way more security conscious, because I think when I had the bike stolen, I were a little bit naive. I haven't had anything stolen since a chopper bike when I were about 7. So it's made me a lot more security aware. So I'm going to share with you some of the security that I use. I'm not going to go through all of it because that wouldn't be very secure, would it? But hasten to add that this bike is well locked down. It is the most secured piece of product that I own. It's got multiple layers, and that's what it's all about, because before people tell me that if somebody wants the bike then they'll get it, that is true. However, the best that we can do is to slow people down, and if you slow people down, then you got more chance of getting out and disturbing them or getting somebody to come and help you. When the bike got stolen, a company called Lightlock emailed me and said, we're really sorry that you've had your bike stolen. We're going to send you a couple of things to help you. They didn't want anything for it. They just said, we're going to send you these. They're a British company. I just thought, that's unbelievable. And at this point in time, this is where I was realising just how strong the biker community is. And they sent me these products, and I was really flattered by it. And I thought, well, let's just see just how it works, because I didn't know anything about Lightlock. But now I do. I use them. I've used them all the time. So I'm going to show you some of these Lightlock products that I use, or some of what I've got. This one, this is called a Lightlock core, and it's, I don't know if you can see, but it's got this like braided material, and for bolt croppers, they struggle to get through it. You can put this through your wheel and your frame, and that'll lock it so that the wheel won't turn. You can also put it through your wheel or your frame and then lock it to an immovable object, because if somebody wants to steal your bike, they're either going to roll it away, or they're going to use somebody else on another bike and push it, or they're going to stick it in a van. I try to think of every way that they're going to move my bike from the location and try and make it as difficult as possible for them. And that means that I want the wheels to not turn, and I want it to be tied to something. So this gives me a bit of flexibility. The other thing with it is, you know, for the strength of it, it's not that heavy. So the Lightlock core gives me one level of security. And then this beast, now this is, for me, this is awesome. This is the X1. And what I do with this is I can get this in various places on my bike, but it will go through the back sprocket and it totally locks the back wheel off. And these are angle grinder resistant. And there's always the argument that we get in forums, and you'll see, oh, well, I can get it off, I can do it with this and do it with that. But if you have a look at some of the tests of these are formidable security locks. And if you want to get rid of it and take it off, you've got some work to do, and that work takes time. So yes, this can lock everything off, back wheel, through the sprocket. This gives me confidence. It's not heavy, it'll go in my top box. I can't feel that I've got either of these two things on my bike when I'm riding around, but they go everywhere. And I use these for no matter how long I'm going somewhere, even if it's seconds. This is so easy. It's key goes in, this comes off. Part of this video, really, we should talk about cleaning the bike. This Versys is excellent for winter riding because it's easy to clean, and 15-year-old, looks brand new. That sounds Simon who had it before me, not me.
Hopefully, if you're thinking about commuting, this might have been some help to you. If you already commute, as I said, can you leave some comments for us? What tips and tricks that you've got, so I can learn and everybody else that's reading the comments can learn from it. Now, would I buy this Armour Komaji set? Yes, I would. If I were back at the start of my journey, I would have bought this, definitely. Now, whether it would have done everything that I need to do now, that's a different thing. But if I were just buying it just purely for commuting, I think you've got an absolutely cracking setup for 350 quid. So I'm going to see if I can get my hands on some more of this stuff so that we can try it. If there's anything that you want me to try, then let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can get hold of it, and we'll take it out for a spin in some different conditions, and I can tell you how it holds up, because obviously this gear, most of the time you buy it and then you find out afterwards whether it's good or not. So anyway, that's us done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.